Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Turtle Network. I'm your host, the experience that some call Jason, and with me today is...
The token business child, Tarky.
The Todd Father.
CVO113.
And today we're going to be talking about Saturday morning cartoons. Our favorites growing up, maybe sucky ones, No one knows. There's no telling where the conversation will go, but anyway, we're going to be talking about the ones from back in the day, since you kind of have to go back in the day to find them these days. Who should start off? Danny, you're the oldest. We'll start with you. What is the earliest Saturday morning cartoon that you really remember being into?
Earliest that I remember, probably Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's probably the earliest I remember. That and when you had the Hanna-Barbera batch of cartoons. Those were kind of the staples there when I was a little kid.
Well, when you were a little kid, up through when I was a little kid, yeah, Hanna-Barbera pretty much was cartoons.
Yeah.
They had like 70 or 80% of the market share, I think.
Yeah.
Half of that was Scooby-Doo knockoffs, but
Warner Brothers had a small chunk, and then the Looney Tunes had a small chunk.
Looney Tunes were Warner Brothers' day.
Yeah, that's right, they weren't they?
Let him live the life.
But and then by the time you started getting the 80s, you started having Deke was kind of cutting in on them a little bit. But what about you, Todd? So Danny's got Scooby-Doo as the first one he really remembers being into.
Are we doing our favorites, or you just talking about the first one I was really, really into?
Right now, just the first one you're really, really into.
Oh, that's Super Friends. That's easy. That's super easy. Simply because it had Batman in it, and I was a big fan of the... Batman was in syndication, when I was growing up. So if it had Batman and Robin in it, I was a fan.
You were there.
Yep.
Well,
and it had Superman and all them other lames that my dad kept going, what about Superman? What about Superman? Batman. What about Superman? Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Care about no Superman. I wanted all of them. I wanted the Mego figures of all of them. R.I.P. to my damn Aquaman that broke in the fucking sink. But yeah, Super Friends. I did not.
You should have had his jet ski. He wouldn't have died and he wouldn't have drowned.
Should have kept him out of the water.
Yeah, what that was reality teaching me just how damn lame Aquaman was. At 3 years old, I didn't realize.
That's it. That event traumatized him to the point that he can do nothing but mock Aquaman for the rest of his life.
My cousin, my grandparents, for one Christmas, bought us a bunch of the Migos. I got Batman and Robin. My one cousin got Superman, and I can't remember who the other one he got. He might have got a villain. He got Superman and Lex Luthor. One cousin got Aquaman. Somebody else, I can't remember. But he was playing with Aquaman, and his dad was in the shower, so he couldn't, do that. And so his dad told him, quit turning on the sink to fill it up. I'm in the shower. So he was over in the toilet playing with his Aquaman in the toilet bowl. And his mom called him for something, and his dad got out and peed without paying attention. He was brushing his teeth and going peeing, and he flushed the toilet, and then Aquaman just went down. That was the death of Aquaman.
As he deserved it. I put mine in the kitchen sink. And it seemed like I did it while Mama got done washing dishes or something. And I get up on the thing, and I'm playing with it because it was sudsy water. And my Aquaman went into the suds, and a bunch of Aquaman pieces in his limp, empty uniform came out.
Yep, sounds traumatizing.
Man as hell.
Yep.
One of the neighbors had told me that, hell, there was a swimming Aquaman that we went all over damn town looking for that we never found. Aquaman is lame, children.
Well, not to copy Todd, but I guess Super Friends is probably the first one for me, too. I was going to say Thundar, but Super Friends probably predates me watching Thundar.
Yeah, Super Friends came before Thundar.
Well, I know that. Super Friends came before I was born, but it was just still going.
Yeah.
You know, I can remember the last 3 seasons I can pretty well remember. You know, watching them when they were new as a kid. Of course, I saw the reruns.
But you had the Super Friends, and then you had, what was that? When they started calling themselves the Justice League.
No, they could start calling the Superpowers team is the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, the trick is every few seasons they would change up exactly what they called it. But it was all one continuous something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember, you know, I'd been watching it. I remember the second to last season they introduced Firestorm, and I thought he was really, really neat. And then that last season when they went Superpowers team, they were a little bit rougher. You had Darkseid running around. They introduced Cyborg.
Yeah, Darkseid running around. Darkseid showed up at the same time as Firestorm.
Firestorm, okay.
Yeah, because that was the thing, is the last season of it, it stopped being the Super Friends and started being the Galactic Guardians Superpowers team.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of stuff. They were doing a lot more stuff in space because they were fighting Darkseid and all.
Yep. My favorite to this day is still Challenges of Super Friends. I love that damn scene. I love just watching it come on.
What about you, Tyler?
First one I've seen.
The first one you remember being into back in the day?
Would probably be Batman the Animated Series. Or Superman the Animated Series, either one, really.
Okay.
But, you know, that's because I was in a house where superheroes were kind of like a thing generationally.
Yeah, this is true.
Where Dad was a fan of superheroes. So if, Batman or Superman was on, he would not change the channel in the living room. But also, like, as far as Saturday morning cartoons, as my token name was, Dad was mowing yards every Saturday, and I could not be left home alone for some reason.
Potentially, his mother was already working at Hardee's.
Potentially for the reason that I moved the living room TV, which weighed 40 some odd pounds, to my room at age like 8 or 9. But
I want to play video games with a big screen.
Sorry. It was younger than 8 or 9. I had to use pillows to cushion it so I could get the bigger TV in my room. Because I couldn't actually lift it, but I could shuffle it. So I used pillows to cushion it as I got it off the stand.
So to be fair, you had shown you could not be trusted alone.
Could be trusted alone. That TV was perfectly safe. Dad could lift it just fine.
So yours would be Batman, probably Batman, because I know Batman came first.
The animated series was real good in my mind when I was a child.
Oh,
I have not looked back to see anything about it.
Most of them hold up pretty well. I mean, not all of them. They had their stinkers, and he extended something way over.
I just feel like I wouldn't enjoy the pacing anymore. I feel like I watch things at an accelerated pace now.
I know, like you talking about the animated Batman and Superman. I can remember watching the reruns of, they would show Superman reruns on, I think it was Sunday, and I was watching them one day, or I had recorded them or something, but it was the first time I saw, somebody figure out who Superman was and then get killed in the gas chamber.
Yes.
That was one of those things I'm sitting there going, did I just see that on a cartoon?
Yes, I was watching that one Sunday morning before I went to church. Oh. Because that was, and I had seen enough of them by that point that I knew that was a reoccurring character they had whacked like that.
Yep. But that's like the early Batman ones, when the cops would get in a shootout with gangsters, you'd see some of the cops go down, and then go down, and be like, damn, they just whacked that cop. Or, oh, they just shot that bad guy, or Joker, bang.
The big deal when they were on Fox was the fact that they used bullets.
Yeah.
The guns in the animated series, shot bullets. Where if you watch guns in X-Men or Spider-Man, they were all blasters that looked like hair dryers.
Yep.
that was why they want to move to the WB is
ease up on the censorship.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think they never had vampires show up.
Yeah, because they had done Red Rain. They had actually drawn out Red Rain, their version of Red Rain, and they couldn't do it because you couldn't have a traditional vampire.
And they kind of did a version of it, I think, for the Batman.
Oh, Batman versus Dracula? That damn movie is great. Hell, I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Huh, I haven't seen it yet.
It is really rough for a kids' cartoon. Now they at the end of it, the cure for vampirism is a chemical, something that you can shoot people up with, and they stop being the undead, even though they refer to themselves as the undead all through the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in the early parts before they, give you the happy ending, yeah, it is a bleak ass cartoon. When you realize that Joker is robbing a blood bank, and you see him lapping blood off the ground like a dog, yeah, it's special.
All right then, Danny. What would you say your favorite was of kind of your classic cartoons?
For me, it's a toss-up. Either Thundar, the Barbarian, or Space Ghost. Either time those was on, I was sitting there. I'm old enough, like Todd, to remember when they would, they would give you a preview before all the new cartoons come out, and they would have this is going to be on this channel, this is going to be on this channel, this is going to be on this channel, and you as a kid would sit down and go, okay, I don't care about the Care Bears, I don't care about this, but I want to watch this that comes on. And you would literally write down on a piece of paper what time channel that you needed to switch from point A to point B, and if something you wanted to watch came on at the same time, and you had a VCR, oh, you was golden. If you didn't, it's So,
I never wrote down lists. I always just flipped channels, until I kind of memorized where I needed to be at what time,
I had a TV guy.
Yeah, I had the TV guy, but I would write it down or highlight it and watch this and watch this, watch that. My dad used to get so mad at me. If you put that kind of effort into your homework, you wouldn't be having problems.
I did put that kind of effort into my homework, so they left me the hell alone.
I did too. It's just that at that time they didn't know I was dyslexic or
that was when they knew where the hell I was. Well, it was on Sunday or on Saturday morning. Plop down in front of damn TV.
Yeah.
Todd's in church.
Yeah, I got to stay sat down in front of the TV until the last cartoon went off and the football game started. Then Dad would be like, all right, get out here in the yard and help me with the yard, or, get out here and help me wash the car.
My line was American Bandstand.
Yep.
American Bandstand came in.
There's Dick Clark. Cartoons are over.
Yep.
You desperately flip channels because occasionally there'd be some season or the other where you might have one more cartoon on a different station when Dick Clark came on.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I didn't have to do any kind of outside work, I would switch over to, was it USA? It became USA, but I can't remember what it was before that. They showed the Hong Kong action flicks, they would come on in it.
Yeah.
Man, I'd sit there and watch those until my eyeballs, were about to explode.
What about you, Todd? What was your favorite?
It kind of depends on the time period. When I was real little, yeah, I had a period where I was like Danny. I was real big into Space Ghost and the Herculoids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and wasn't too long after that the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla hit. That was my jam. By the time we were living in Lebanon, Tennessee, by the time we hit Chattanooga, my favorite kind of bounced between either Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and kind of Thundar and Dungeons and Dragons. I was real big into Dungeons and Dragons there for a minute.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons was a good one. Oh. Let's see. When Thundar was out, Thundar was pretty much my favorite. Prior to that would have been Super Friends that we've already talked about. Dungeons and Dragons, when it came out, I was big into that. That was one Dad seemed to enjoy too. Now, getting a little bit later, like when we were hitting like the early '90s, The Tick was one that I got really, really into.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite as little by that point. Now, unlike Danny, since I had a little sister and only one TV, I did occasionally have to sit through Care Bears. Because while I might not have cared much for Care Bears, it was still a cartoon, so it was still something to be watched.
See, I went through, by the time you get up and around the 90s, me and my dad both got hooked on two cartoons on ABC. Pirates of Dark Water and Beetlejuice.
Pirates was great.
We used to watch Dad would actually work third shift and have me wake him up early to watch Pirates of Dark Water and Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice I didn't like when it came out. When Cartoon Network was running it years later, I really got into it. I don't know if it was just a couple extra years of growing to get more of the jokes or what it was. But
yeah, hell, I like Beetlejuice the cartoon more than I like Beetlejuice the movie.
Yeah.
I saw the cartoon first, so I was kind of in the same boat.
See, I saw the movie at the theater.
A cartoon they did was Ghostbusters.
Damn, how in the hell that? Yeah.
I'm having Todd. How did I forget that? I was super into that one.
Say what?
I said, I'm like Todd. I was thinking, how in the world did I forget that one? I was super into that one. And that thing lasted forever.
Yeah. But I think, one of my favorite episodes of Ghostbusters is they're looking for somebody, and one of them just sits down at this water fountain, like, what are you doing? Well, I read once, if you sit in one place long enough, everybody you know will pass by you. Hey, Miss Such and Such. Who was that? Oh, she was my kindergarten teacher. They all just sat down and waited.
I remember that scene, but I don't remember what it was they were looking for or anything else about that.
Yeah, I don't remember who they were looking for or why, but they all just sat down and just sat there and waited.
For me, the best couple of episodes were the one with the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
And any of them that Sam Hain showed up in.
I was about to say, I like Sam Hain. I also like What? Remember the demon What?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one, so either it skipped out of my brain, or I missed it. Maybe, I don't know.
Because Peter got possessed, and it gave him his hair shot straight up, and even when they managed to get it out of him, his hair was still stuck straight up. You had Slimer sitting on him trying to goo his hair down, and it would still pop up. Yeah, it was something. That and I like the thing's name because they were playing on its name. And the great powerful what? What? Name. What? What's your name? What? What's its name? What?
Almost doing the old Abbott and Costello routine.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was home on Saturdays a lot of times. And I was watching that one, and Dad got tickled because, like you said, the Who's on First routine. We had just watched Abbott and Costello movie, the previous weekend, and they started doing that, and he just, giggled his ass off.
You ever seen the one where they got stranded in a town, and the town was full of vampires, and there was a neighboring town that they had beef with? You end up finding out they were full of werewolves.
Well, they wound up having that other town. Most of that other town, they had them imprisoned in their basements or something.
Yeah, and at the end of it, they were like, we gotta get out of here. Why? Because what happens when a vampire bites a werewolf? When a werewolf bites somebody? What happens when a vampire bites somebody? So you end up having the hybrid pop up. They're like, yeah, I'm out.
Yep, and they drive over the river, the bridge that crossed the river that circled the town. They blew the bridge up because none of them could cross running water.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
I like that one. I like the one where they basically tell you how they got Slimer, where they had the outfits from the original movie covered in Gozer, and they had it next to the containment unit, and you end up having the ghostly Ghostbusters run around. I like that one. It was a lot of those.
That was almost an origin story in that it segued from the live action movies into the cartoon.
Yep. Yeah. I tended to like the ones with the Boogeyman too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was kind of creepy when you were little.
Yeah, and it was Megatron. It was Welker doing his voice, and he literally sounds. He didn't change his voice for shit with that one. He literally sounds like Megatron.
All right, Tyler, what about you? What were some of your absolute favorites?
Okay, so I came in at kind of the beginning of the aughts, which is the problem, because it was a ton of shows came out then that would only last like 2 or 3 seasons, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, truthfully, that was a lot of cartoons. Yeah, Thundar went 2 seasons. Pirates, Dark Water only went 2 seasons.
All right. I mean, I was fairly sure it was going to be a similar thing, but Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go was an absolute gem.
I remember the name. I remember commercials for it. I don't think I ever sat down and watched it.
It's just a 13-year-old kid sneaks into an abandoned robot, activates it, and yeah, all of the robots inside the giant one go, oh hey, yeah, you were not supposed to do that. You are now forcibly part of our team. We're sorry about this.
Oh, sweet.
And it's a kid living his life in this space station. Yeah, now he has to fight giant monsters with robots.
You want to know something? All our nerd cards would probably get pulled. Because you know 2 shows that were both Saturday morning cartoons?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I was going to mention later.
The 90s X-Men and the 90s Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was thinking about those a while ago while he was talking.
I only watched the Spider-Man reruns on Cartoon Network. Or, not Cartoon Network.
I was going to get around to them. I had not forgotten X-Men.
I only saw the Spider-Man reruns.
Because
I can remember.
I was truthfully waiting to see if Taylor ever brought X-Men up, because I want to say X-Men and Batman debuted the same seasons.
90s X-Men I was not into.
Really?
I liked the theme song, and that was about it.
I can remember.
The theme song was awesome.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, that and X-Men Evolutions took over my entire child brain about X-Men.
Ah. You were up old enough to have better memories of it, probably.
Yeah, I just went, I don't like the fact that Rogue looks different, but other than that, I'm cool with this.
I can remember the Spider-Man and X-Men stuff that was on Fox. A bunch of us out there when I worked at Dunlop, we were a bunch of nerds. And, when we would have to work on the weekends, we would have to record the cartoon. If we were off, we would be up watching it. And, we were playing the Marvel role-play game at the time as a group. And we would all sit there. If it was one of those things where we had to record it, we would sit there and watch the 2 episodes before we played our game. And, we caught hell from a lot of people. Man, why y'all watching them damn cartoons? Because they're good. Try them one time. And we got folks that weren't even, nerds to watch them. That's a damn good cartoon. We told you. And, one of the guys, why he started doing that, and his kid was watching the Batman and Superman cartoons. He sat down and started watching those with his kid because, as a kid, he grew up reading Batman comic books. And he was like, oh, these things are awesome. And he come to work and like, have you watched it? Yeah. He goes, did you know that you said it? Yeah. He's like, oh my God, does that mean I'm a nerd? I went, a little bit.
Poor guy, just realizing it so late in life.
I didn't really get my dad to watch like the animated Batman or Superman until World's Finest. When they did World's Finest, where they crossed them over, we had a ball watching that one because I was giving him complete crap because me and my dad, my entire life, I loved Batman, he loved Superman, and we'd go at each other all the times, and that was, he would pick on me, Superman's got a girlfriend, Batman hangs around with his little boyfriend. And we would take shots at each other, and in that cartoon, Bruce Wayne comes into town and takes Lois. Oh, the joy.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave him such hell for that. I laughed at him for months. You see, my dude comes into town, takes your dude's woman in 5 seconds of him being in town? Sad.
That's
sad. To be fair, he's rich.
That was one of the things he came to work like, dude, did y'all just watch that episode such and such? And I'm like, yeah. He took Lois Lane away from him. And it was like, people were turning and looking at him like, man, you with them nerds? And he's like, but Batman took Lois Lane away from Superman. Did y'all not get that? And it's like, we were dying, because he was so excited about it.
Because that was the thing. It was like, she knows he's Batman. And she's still kind of cool with it.
Yeah.
That and anything with Mark Hamill's Joker.
Yeah.
All right, so Tyler, what else were you into? So
I'm gonna finish up with my monkeys first. There was an entire season of that show that was a horror series, and that was great because the villain had gotten loose. Otherwise, they had been dealing with like his minions and stuff all the time. Once the villain got loose, it was okay. We're trying to save the day. Oh, the villain showed up. Find an escape. Find an escape. Find an escape. We cannot fight him. Like, he would regularly just wreck the team, and they'd have to, like, hit an airlock button or do something to escape the entire season. And it was just, like, the oncoming dread of, like, eventually they're not going to find an out. That was great for a child.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that.
Look at that, was great for a child. Hopelessness.
Well, it seemed deep, you know.
Well, it was. You saw 2 seasons of them solve every problem. And then suddenly a problem has come up they cannot solve. But they're still trying. They're still trying to be heroes and still trying to get the work done.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact that there's an overlooming problem.
Well, I remember in watching Voltron, which was not Saturday morning cartoon around here at least, the fact that they killed one of the villains at the end of the 4th episode? Whatever the multi-part story was that started Voltron off, whether it was 4 or 5 parts, I forget.
Yeah, 5-part.
But, you know, because the commander guy that had been chasing, you know, had been kind of in charge of dealing with him. Yeah, when he keeps failing, he gets turned into a road beast and cut his ass in half. I remember as a kid being super impressed.
Yep, Commander Yurik.
And then shortly thereafter, I saw a little bit of Robotech, which was, you know, rougher, but so soap opera-y, I never got into it. I just flipped past it. Click, 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 click. Nope, the robots aren't fighting. Click, click, click.
Robotech until a couple of years later when it was re-showing on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. Well, even then, I'd only watch it if I flipped over and the robots were currently fighting. And nope, that heifer's singing. Keep going.
Yeah. I didn't watch Robotech until I was grown. I'm good grown when I watched it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's soap opera shit. I started watching in the early days of sci-fi when they would have Transformers reruns, they would have the new Gigantor and Robotech, and I watched it.
That's when I watched it.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, we ran all over you again. If you're done with your monkeys, what else were you into?
The second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series from 2003 was real good. It was more hyper violent, but not like depressing. They made Shredder an alien, but it was weird. What?
Was that the one where Shredder was a crane?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Yeah, I never watched much of that, but I mean enough to know what they'd done with Shredder to make him different.
Let's see. Shaolin Showdown was a real good show as well.
Was that a Saturday morning? Yeah, that was a Saturday morning one, wasn't
it?
Yeah. I watched a little bit of that one.
Because just all of the weird, unique items and the fact that they show back up in later episodes, and you had to keep, like, your mind had to keep rotating of like, okay, does the hero or the villain have this right now? Because occasionally the villain would win, or the villain would just flat out steal them.
Mm-hmm.
One or the other.
Did anybody watch Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie Chan Adventures was great. I did not realize as a child and for like a while that it was not Jackie Chan doing the voice.
I picked up on that one pretty quick.
Well, like once I'd started seeing more actual, I'd seen like a Rush Hour, I think, and then watched Jackie Chan Adventures, and then the next Jackie Chan movie I saw went, I don't think Jackie Chan voiced him in Jackie Chan Adventures.
I've been lied.
Despite the fact that he would show up in person at the end of each episode.
Yeah, the only thing Jackie Chan did was that intro,
which was a classic trope for that kind of thing. The old Mr. T cartoon, which I'm sure Danny and Todd remember.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You know, you'd have him talking, which that was one I was into. Shoot, I had another one. Oh well, Mike Tyson Mystery. That's just because it's spoofing those old shows.
Trick is, I think I'm the only one here that used to watch Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, you know, I never knew there was one.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali was actually the first one because I want to say for mine it was Muhammad Ali, the Globetrotters, because they had their own for a while. And then,
they have a non-superhero one?
Yes, they had Globetrotters, and a little bit later they did Super Globetrotters.
Yeah, then they did Super Globetrotters later.
I've only ever seen Super.
I think it was the only one Cartoon Network reran.
Yeah, it is.
Of course, the older three of us were all, I'm sure, into Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and the 80s Incredible Hulk cartoon.
Yeah.
As a little kid, I liked Shirt Tales. Man, did I like me some Shirt Tales.
I used to watch Shirt Tales.
They were just superhero-y enough to get my attention.
Hell, I used to watch the Johan and Pee-wee season of the Smurfs.
Yeah.
I remember those. I don't know if I was watching them when they were new or if they were rerunning by that point.
Because I can remember there for a little bit, you had parents groups basically get up in arms because the name of the cat, because the cat's name was Azrael, and teach the kids to worship the devil. I was like, I really just watched the damn thing with Johan and Pee-wee because I like Pee-wee's battle cry.
Did he ride a goat?
Yep. Wee! I mean, it was dumb as shit, but hell, it's.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember when that little span when they had all the arcade-based cartoons? You had Pac-Man, you had Donkey Kong, you had Q*bert, you had Space Ace.
My favorite one was Captain N because they had Levi Stubbs doing the voice of Mother Brain.
That one came out. That one was quite a bit later, but
Mega Man was a chain smoker, and green.
Sounded like it. Mega Man sounded like Dr. Girlfriend, truthfully. And yeah, I did not like the fact that they made him green. Didn't really like their version of Simon Belmont either.
Rumor has it that they were basically showed Mega Man on a TV that was not color corrected.
That reminds me of an old Smurfs commercial from Cartoon Network.
Yeah, we're really
green. Fix your TV.
I was a big fan of Pac-Man too.
Yeah, I remember watching a lot of Pac. You know, it's weird. Cartoon Network still shows the Pac-Man Christmas special.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I used to watch the hell out of Pac-Man.
Oh, let's see. Alvin and the Chipmunks I remember watching a lot of.
Yeah.
The Gummy Bears, for some reason, I could never catch, but I always liked them when I saw them. Any of y'all remember one called The Littles?
Yep. Yeah,
I remember watching a lot of it, but I don't remember particularly why. It's like I liked it, but I wasn't super into it.
What was the ones where it was a bunch of little animals and they lived at a zoo, but then they would have adventures?
Sounds like Shirt Tales.
Shirt Tales, they were in a park.
Okay.
You had Pound Puppies for a while.
Oh, I guess I have to mention One Piece just to keep my credibility as a weeb.
Was that a Saturday morning one?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was on 4Kids.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, the 4Kids animation team went through mountains of effort to make that show pass the tests.
Kid friendly, yeah.
Because all the guns were these weird things that had hammers attached at the end so that they wouldn't shoot bullets, but they still shot bullets because that was part of like things that Luffy would do was bounce bullets back. But they were like slingshot guns, and it was very, very silly. And then it went to Toonami later, I think, and they were allowed to do a lot more.
What was the anime that they ended up having to go in and edit the clothing on a lot of the characters?
Sailor Moon?
Tenchi Muyo?
Oh yeah, Tenchi Muyo's truthfully probably a lot of anime. They do fan service a lot.
In Japan, the breast is not really considered like needing to be censored, so like a lot of stuff in animation anyway has to get redone for Western audiences.
I know it wasn't on Saturday mornings here at first. Then they showed the reruns on Saturdays on one of the channels. Was over here it was called Battle of the Planets, but in Japan it was Gatchaman.
Yeah, and it was G-Force.
Yeah, G-Force.
When Cartoon Network ran it,
which pissed me off because I was like, "Ooh, G-Force." That thing was called Battle of the Planets, and then I watched it and it was yet another redub of it. Man.
But I can remember it started on the weekdays, and then it went off for a while, and then the next time I saw it, it was on the weekend, and it went off of the weekend and went back to weekdays. And Speed Racer. That was another one that was early on.
Speed.
Yeah, I was never into Speed Racer. I never saw them when I was little. And they did like an 80s revamp of it that I saw a few of, but around here they played super early in the morning.
That was weird. I hated the original and I liked the revamp. weird as shit.
Let's see. I can remember watching, what was it? Punky Brewster had a cartoon.
Yeah.
And some kind of way, I saw a ton of the cartoon and never saw the actual live action show.
You know, Alf had a damn cartoon.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that one. But it was like a prequel. It was him running around in his homeworld.
Did any of y'all have around here where they showed like the live action Japanese Sentai kind of stuff like
Goldar and
like Ultraman?
Yeah. No, I don't think we did. Not that I remember anyway.
Damn.
I really only palled around Power Rangers, and that was it.
Yep.
Yeah, Power Rangers was cheap compared to Ultraman and stuff like that. Power Rangers still had a feeling that it was for kids. I used to basically call it, it's like what if Ultraman met H&R Puffin stuff. Yeah, when you watch like Space Giants and stuff like that, people routinely got murdered.
Whole cities got destroyed.
Yeah. Because the one that Ultraman was rough, the one that was really, really violent was Spectre-Man.
Yeah.
Spectre-Man was rough as hell. Hell, one of his abilities was he had razor blades pop out the sides of his arm. Sometimes he was normal sized, and then he could become a giant.
What was the one? Was it on the Goldar and everything where you had one of the villains that would melt people's faces?
Yeah, I think that was Space Giants. I think that was Rodak.
Yeah,
I think Rodak. Well, you remember the bad guys in Space Giants, when you killed them, they melted.
Yeah.
And you had the red applesauce.
Yeah.
Come out of them. Yeah. Good, clean fun.
But we're getting away from cartoons into live action stuff.
But it was still a Saturday morning, so.
Yeah, well, this is true. But
that was the reason why I asked, did y'all have that around here in Chattanooga? I used to watch that on Saturday.
But see, that's like one of my cousins lived out of state for a while, and like here we had G.I. Joe, Transformers, Silverhawks, and something else was on weekdays. Where he lived, it was on Saturday mornings.
And some of them shows really varied from station to station.
That would have pissed me off because you
Jason
really get shorted. My God, it'd take over a month to see hell the season premieres doing that shit.
Yeah.
Do you remember if Fillmore was a Saturday morning cartoon or not? Because I love the sheer audacity of Fillmore.
Fillmore? Which one was Fillmore?
It was the school cop show.
Oh, yes. That may have been on Disney Channel, so I don't know when they were showing that one. Or maybe it was on ABC, it was just a Disney produced one. Yeah, I don't remember when that one was at, but yeah. Fillmore was pretty good.
I don't recall if it was Saturday morning or not, though.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention Static Shock, too.
Yeah.
Static
Shock was great.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was the one that I can't. Was it WB that we had that it came on? I can remember it was on for a season before we got the channel, and I remember reading about it in Wizard going, "There's no way in hell it will stay on long."
The first 2 seasons may have come out by the time you got it. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's like us. We got a WB station, and then it ended because I was so pissed because we were going to get to watch the Hulk, Static Shock, and something else, and whatever station was
Hope was UPN. Hope was UPN because I could only watch The Incredible Hulk when I went home to see my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
But we were going to get some different stuff, and I was like, oh man, that'll be cool. And then the station that had kind of premiered it, something happened and they lost their license. So it was like, well, damn it. And then you had Buffy the Vampire Slayer was going to be was on one thing, and then they were going to switch networks, and we didn't have that network. So mad, and we missed like 2 or 3 episodes before we got that network, but it also affected some cartoons.
That was back when I want to say it's back when WGN was running the WB stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because you had WB and UPN, and they merged into CW, and so.
Yeah. Because we did not have UPN at all, and then the WB stuff. If they ran it late, you could catch it late. Because I remember seeing the first episode of like Batman Beyond. Yeah, it came on like 7:00 at night on a Sunday.
Oh. no group with as many old farts in it as we've got can possibly talk about Saturday morning cartoons without bringing up Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah.
I didn't count it as a cartoon. I counted it as a really cool commercial. It was the commercial that I would sit through. And the trick is, when you go back and listen to him now, Luther Vandross sang a lot of them damn songs on there.
Hell, he's the go-to guy for, R&B and soul and stuff. Works with Stevie Wonder a lot. I can see his damn face, but I cannot think of his damn name for nothing. If you wrote a song in the 80s or 90s, you went through him just about.
No clue.
No.
But he wrote 2 of those. And it was like,
That's the trick. If you go, who wrote it? I have no earthly idea. Luther Vandross sang them motherfuckers. So it was like, I sit there and go, holy shit, that was Luther. Holy shit, that was Luther. Well, damn.
Yeah.
You could sometimes get big names to come in and do kind of the educational cartoons.
He wasn't big. That's the trick of that.
Oh, was that before he was big?
That would have been Luther before Luther was Luther.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's like the dude that sang that junction, what's your function? He had a career as something else.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to put out this album with the company wasn't wanting to put it. He's like, well, look, we got these, educational spots we need filled. You sing them, and then we'll do your album. That's how he got one of his albums thing.
Yeah, you do what you have to get started. Though, speaking of music and cartoons, do any of y'all remember Kid Video?
Yep,
yes,
I do.
That was an odd one. That I liked it partly because you had the little fairy that, if you could make her sneeze, then she got super strength, which made it kind of superhero-y, which was all you had to do to have my attention as a child.
That's kind of a superhero. Sweet.
Yep, close enough. Because it was coming out when you were starting to hit kind of that dark period where you didn't really have any kind of superhero stuff. And I had a cousin that was really into it. She's probably about your age, Todd. Just because she liked the music.
Oh, the Kid Video?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did any of y'all, this would have been early aughts. Any of y'all watch, what was that? Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes?
Yeah.
I did watch Legion of Superheroes.
I saw the first one or two.
It was solid, and then it got real good when the second Superman shows up.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to talk about music. I'm going to mention one. Todd probably remembers it. Remember was it the Jackson 5 or...
I've maybe only seen the Jackson 5 cartoon maybe once or twice in my life.
I was a little kid. It predated me because I can remember my female
60s.
The 60s. My female cousins talking about how great it was, and then when BET got the rights to them and showed them, I was like, oh, okay, that
was when I saw them.
Yeah, that was. I was the type that if it didn't have like some kind of action thing to it, or unless it was like Mr. T and Muhammad Ali both like borderline superheroes and that shit.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't something like that, I was like, I don't care.
But see, with them, their big things were the Jacksons, and then the Partridge Family.
Remember when the Partridge Family had?
Yeah, I didn't care about it. I didn't care about the show. It got stuck on sometimes because that's, Mom wanted background noise and, I couldn't change the channel. But it was big at the end, middle and end of the 60s that, crap.
That was back when I wasn't even a thought yet, so.
Yeah. But I can remember seeing the reruns of them and everything. Oh, speaking of superheroes, did any of y'all watch the Shazam and ISIS?
Yep, I used to watch that.
That predated me. I don't even remember the reruns of it.
Yeah. Trick is, hell, I don't think I ever saw reruns of it. I've seen it like as an adult. You've had people pull it up where you can look at it online. But yeah, I used to watch that on Saturday mornings. I was maybe 2 or 3 when I watched them. But yeah, I used to watch it.
Yeah. it was, I think, the first thing I can remember of a live action intermixed with some cartoon.
Because that was in around the time that Sid and Marty Krofft had the thing where you could watch Electra Woman and Dyna Girl.
Yeah, I was about to mention them.
I used to watch that in Dr. Shrinker and Land of the Lost.
But I was about to bring up Land of the Lost if we're going to talk about live action briefly. Truthfully, though, it's probably about time for us to wrap up. But let's go around one last time. I got one more question for all y'all. And I'll go ahead and start it off, I guess. But name one that you were really excited about when you heard about it. For me, that would be the Ruby Spears Superman. Because it was one of those where I watched the preview, and it had been so long since I'd had an actual straight superhero that I was just super excited about it. They were using the theme music from the movies. It was great. And then I think I saw 4 episodes of that sucker and it was gone.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
I own it all now, though. All of it. But anyway, Danny, what was one you were excited about when you when you saw a commercial for it or heard it was coming out or saw an ad in a comic book about it?
Back when they had it was kind of the spin-off Batman from the Super Friends. When you had Batman and Robin, it was all adventures with just them and their villains. And
yeah,
you might have
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, you might have another superhero pop in for a case or something like that. But that was one when I heard about it. I was like, oh yeah, because at that time you had the Batman 66 running in syndication, and so I was if it was like Todd, if it was Batman and Robin, I was there.
All right, Todd, what about you?
Yeah, that was Godzilla. Godzilla, when I found out that thing was coming out, that was my whole world. I was like, I can remember sitting in the floor with my Godzilla Shogun Warrior, waiting for that damn thing and being mad as hell when you had, what was it? Some jungle chick that they had intermixed in that damn thing.
Oh, yeah. I forget her name, though.
And because when it actually came out, like you would see, they actually split it up. So, and the first one was like Firebird. So it was like, oh man, it's Godzilla fighting Rodan. And it's because you had it come out of a volcano and shit. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then they stopped and would play basically the Jenna, the Jungle, or whatever that was. And you had to sit through that to see the end of the Godzilla thing. But yeah, Godzilla.
Yeah.
The second I saw that, I was like, this is it.
I never liked it when they would do those bunches where they would cut the episodes up.
Yep.
A power hour like you had with She-Ra and He-Man, groovy.
But don't chop the
cartoon. But Cartoon Express, where they would take 3 half-hour cartoons and chop them up like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't remember which 3 it was now. I remember Tiger Sharks I was actually wanting to watch. Cap Minimon was okay, and I can't remember what the third one was, but it was crap. But,
I gotta sit through this poop.
What about you, Tyler?
I don't think, once again, this is now going to lean heavily upon the fact that most Saturday morning cartoons I saw were only in the winter, very sparsely, and I don't remember a single one I was ever told was going to happen.
You just kind of discovered them as you discovered them, huh?
I just kind of went, it's raining today, so we're not mowing. What's on TV? Oh, hey, I like this cartoon. And, that was it.
Yep.
I would only get to see, 3 or 4 episodes of a season intermittently, just randomly.
You should go and tell your dad, you robbed me of my childhood.
Well, I mean, ADHD has done that.
He only remembers bits and pieces of it anyway.
Yeah, I barely remember any baseball games I've ever played, and I did that for 13 or 14 years. Okay, I think that's a little longer, but anyway.
Yeah, well, man, we've been at this one about almost an hour. So anyway, we're going to wrap up here, I guess. Goodness knows there's plenty of cartoons we didn't bring up. The Wuzzles, the Snorks.
Plastic Man.
Plastic Man. I really had forgotten about that one. Garfield and Friends. I remember that one.
After we stop, I'll remember 10 more, probably.
Rubik's The Amazing Cube.
I remember that one.
I remember liking that one, and looking back, I'm like, man, that was a dumb idea.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a Saturday morning cartoon, but I never saw it as one.
Yeah,
It might have been one time.
Every bit as dumb as Hammerman with his magical talking shoes.
Lefty and righty.
Dumb as shit.
I watched the first episode of that one and never watched one again.
I used to watch that sumbitch. I used to watch that all the damn time, and I used to love Sea Bear and Jamal just because I loved hearing a teddy bear that sounded like Tone Loc.
Captain Planet, I think, was a Saturday morning at one point.
Fucking teddy bear.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can sit here all day probably coming up with ones we left out or forgotten. But anyway, if we left out your favorite, let us know in a comment below. You can comment to us on YouTube, on Facebook, at our website, thenerdeternal.com. On Twitter, just search for the Nerd Eternal. Just search for the Nerd Eternal, you'll find us. Yeah, lock it up.
Yes, I'm sure it'll show up. There's the only one.
We're there somewhere. How many of us can there be?
Like, share, and subscribing would be nice. Especially that like button.
Yes, we can definitely use some likes and some shares. But anyway, I've been your host for the day, the experienced some call Jason, and with me is Ben.
The token gonna have to be first one more time, Tarky.
The Todd Fob.
CDO 113.
And we will see y'all later.
Sorry, I'd kind of mentally already diverted to reading comics.